everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another book review. This is a kind of miraculous paradise, true story about schizophrenia. It's written by Sandra Allen. This is actually about Sandra Allen's uncle, Bob, whom she knew was crazy. The flap actually describes it a lot better than I could. I'm going to go ahead and read it. He spent time in mental hospitals while growing up in Berkeley in the 60s and 70s. But Bob had lived a hermetic life in a remote part of California for longer than Sandra had been alive. And what little she knew of him came from rare family reunions or odd and frequent phone calls. Then, in 2009, Bob mailed her his autobiography. It's written in all caps, by the way. Error-written sentences, and it was proclaimed to be a true story about being a psychotic, paranoid schizophrenic. It's, she translates it. It's a coming-of-age story, and it gives a whole new context to the mental system, and it's very broken. And there's a lot of truth to the fact that more poor people are diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia than any other group. I'm kind of wondering if that's similar for people that have bipolar, manic depressive, bipolar 1 or bipolar 2. Something tells me that it's probably the same way. And I'm thinking it's similar with other mental disorders as well, and that's why it's such a gripping issue, and that's what really turned me onto this book. I thought, I don't know how I feel about that, because I myself have an issue, even though I don't really consider it as such, because it's just a label, and labels don't define me. But Sandra's story, her uncle's story, is very compelling. It's like a train wreck. You can't really look away. And you feel for the guy. You just think, whew, wow. But he's just like anybody else, and he's just trying to understand why they gave him that label, and this just is sad. Honestly, it's very sad and very revealing, and it's just an excellent expose about how the system needs to work on diagnosing people and how it treats those people. And I honestly don't think that psych wards are the cure. I don't think meds are the cure either. Personally, I think the truest form of care and cure, first of all, CBD for one thing, because research has been done on this, and it's been documented to help people who have depression, amongst other things. And it works. The other thing is therapy. Therapy, group therapy, just more sympathetic, empathetic outlets and venues for people who have mental disability, not mental disability, but disease. I don't like the word disease, really. Just, I guess you could say it's a different way of looking at the world. I call it a mental perspective, just because I personally believe it's a way of being awake and having I don't know. It's really hard to pin a good definition to this perspective, honestly. But as far as books are concerned, it was very short and very, very fascinating as far as reads are concerned. If you're into the mind, which we know very little, if next to nothing about, then I would recommend it. But it makes me a little bit angry. It makes me a little bit upset, because it seems like even though he was a little bit violent, they could have treated him a little bit better. They could have had more compassion. And the mental field, the psychiatric field, in some cases really lacks that, unfortunately. But beyond that, it's a really fantastic read. It's marvelously written, and you really feel for Sandra and her uncle. And that's about all I got to say. So until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.